I've been thinking a lot about the concept of proximity without access. And I've been thinking about it because I've been living it, where particularly in major metropolitan areas like Washington, D.C., where I live, there's a mix of such a range of demographics. There's such a range of tax brackets that people that live a half a mile from each other can have such a starkly contrasted experience to one another. And as somebody who is a dog walker, a pet sitter who takes care of people's four-legged, two-legged, furry, feathered, scaled family members, I feel I'm in this unique kind of go-between area that allows me to move between all of these spaces it's taught me a lot when it comes to, code switching and just all the different layers of masking that have to be interchanged as you move between different pockets of the same city that you adjust as you move between different social circles, different professional circles. And also it's this strangely intimate experience when it comes to taking care of people's pets, especially over years. You are loving, and I genuinely do love and care for these people's pets as a member of their family. I truly do give my all because I truly do care about these animals. And I really form a bond with them and I love them. And because of that, in this interesting way, I become, in some cases, almost like an extended family member of these people. And these are people who are having a completely, vastly different experience in life than what I'm having. And they're people that live close enough to me that I can get here every day by bicycle. And it really constantly is in my perception. Just as an autistic brain, I am taking in all this different sensory input and all the details and making patterns and noticing them, and it is a constant presence in my life and something that I'm constantly looking over and chewing on and trying to understand. And it brings up such a bundle of dichotomous emotions for me, because on one hand, I don't feel jealous because in my mind, and I don't know if this is like the agreed upon definition, but to me, jealousy is wanting something that someone else has that maybe you don't think they deserve. Almost in like this zero-sum game fashion. Whereas envy is somebody has something that you wish you had, but you don't have, So I don't feel jealous because most of the people I work with are good people. And I feel grateful. It's wonderful to see good people living good lives, living the lives that we were all told that we would get if we worked hard enough. Seeing that for some people, they aren't living totally sugar-coated lives with no struggles or no pain. You know, this isn't a neighborhood full of billionaires, but they're people who are comfortable. They have literal white picket fences. Their neighborhood's clean and safe, full of plants and wildlife and birds singing and friendly neighbors that say hello. People with all sorts of insignia planted around their porches and their gardens that express love, acceptance, and care for people of all walks of life. It feels, in certain pockets of DC, it gives this like small town, very tight-knit community, almost suburban or even rural kind of feeling, except for without that feeling of isolation and without that feeling of like underlying judgment or overt judgment. And perhaps I'm projecting based on my own experiences. My experience in Central Florida was unfortunately filled with a lot of judgment, fear, phobias, and even though they wouldn't use the word, most of them, hatred. The need to not be different from anyone. And it feels like there's pockets here where people are living the American dream. Their kids are thriving, they have beautiful homes, they're comfortable, they're not worried about where their next meal is coming from. And a lot of them worked really hard to get here. You know, like, they went to school for years and years, they worked really hard, and now they're doctors, they're lawyers, whatever. And I also, there's like a special kind of joy and gratitude I feel when I see an animal that is in a family who gives them the lives that they deserve, the love, the care, the enrichment, the peaceful environment, all of those things above and beyond just their basic needs. I think all... Sorry, bud. I think all animals deserve that. They're vulnerable. If you take them on as a part of your family, you owe them that. They're helpless otherwise. You're completely responsible for the type of experience they have throughout their lives. And to see people who are not living at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, who are able to go above and beyond, or are able to provide for their kids and their fur kids, their pets, these beautiful lives. I am so grateful to witness that, to be reminded that it does exist and it does happen, even though in my little bubble I see a lot of animal and child abuse, neglect. I see oppression and poverty and violence. I see people struggling and dealing with so much generational trauma, unprocessed childhood trauma, who feel like, what the fuck is the point? Who just give up on everything. And it's reflected in their environment. And here I am moving between these two spheres on a daily basis. And I feel all this gratitude, and I'm so happy for these people. They deserve it. Their animals certainly deserve it. All animals deserve to have happy, fulfilling lives. And I also feel envy and frustration, disappointment and disillusionment, that it seems like this kind of life is completely unattainable for someone like me. I'm always this super optimist. I always have been. At the same time, I'm logical. I like to have 2 feet planted in reality. Even when I spice in a little sprinkle of woo-woo stuff, I want to be honest and real. And for years I kept believing if I believe hard enough, I'll manifest it, I'll achieve it, I'll do what I was told I was supposed to do, and I'll make it happen for myself. And things have only gotten harder and harder. And I'm realizing, like, yeah, this is probably not a life I'll ever realistically experience. It's not impossible. And I'm not saying it could never happen. And part of me still does hold on to hope that it could. At the same time, statistically speaking, realistically speaking, boots on the ground, what's actually going on, and the math that's mathing in my bank account, I'm probably never gonna live a life like this. And I know I'm a good person, and I know so many good people, good families who feel this, who are never gonna be able to hope for this simple, beautiful, comfortable life. Anyway, I don't have any answers. I don't have solutions, and that's so often what my content has been lately, because it's a reflection of what's going on in my life and in my mind. I'm not an expert on anything else except for my own experiences. And right now, my present moment is really dominating everything. So that is all I can truly report on. I know that for some of us, there is a possibility of things turning around. But right now, it feels like things are getting worse and not better. And so I guess my life and my thought process lately, beyond just its usual observational, pattern seeking, and meaning making processes, it's really mitigation. It's really learning how to just, even if it's only a tiny notch, to exist mentally and emotionally above just survival. That's why I talk about the power of joy maxing, the power of really leaning into things that light you up, even though it's hard to make time for things when we're so overwhelmed with the survival needs. Even if you're beyond survival and you're in a career where you're making a lot of money, that could also become consuming, and people get depressed. I mean, look at how many celebrities that had everything that aren't with us anymore. So I think regardless of where you are in life, at least what I hope my observations bring is to drill down on the value that comes from leaning into small moments of beauty and wonder and joy, and follow whatever lights you up, making small moments for yourself, even if you don't have the ability to carve out a lot of time and energy for the things that you wish you could. At least finding small ways. If you're in a city too, you're probably in a similar type of setup, where maybe if you're poor, if you're struggling, you might be in one part of the city, but you can probably travel half a mile and be in a whole nother world. And I would encourage you to do that. I mean, I think beyond the fact that my job allows me to surround myself with something I'm passionate about, which is animals and animal care, and dogs specifically, I also have this privilege to be able to, on a daily basis, move through these spaces where people are living above the poverty line. They are living above oppression. They are working towards self-actualization, and therefore are able to lean into compassion and empathy and care, community, and going above and beyond, and caring for themselves, caring for their homes. All of these things have such a ripple effect, and I think an energetic impact, that even if you're not working in a space where you're moving in and out. You know, if you're not a housekeeper, you're not doing landscaping, you're not doing pet care, and so you have no reason to be going in and out of these spaces, I would encourage you to, you know, take a bike ride, take a walk, take a short bus ride or a metro ride, and just spend some time in a park, in a place where there's this underlying sense of safety, where you can look around and observe joy, not just in the wildlife and the plants, although that is also radiating from them, but in the people, what they're doing, how they're feeling. You feel that. And I think it is medicine. I think it can, though, as I mentioned, bring a lot of conflicting emotions, because it's only human to feel like, damn, I wish that this could be my life. But it also brings a sense of gratitude and hope, because it's like, look, some people are living this way. It is possible. And even if I never achieve it, I'm so happy that there are good people that are existing like this. It's not all doom and despair. There is still beauty. And it's really easy to be just mainlining the doom every waking hour. But I would challenge you to interject little sprinkles of hopefulness and of just being in the morphic field of people who are not just existing, who are truly living. People and animals who are people too. Well, that's about it for today. I'm gonna go walk my next friend and bask in the radiance of her presence and of her home, because her family is one of the kindest, most loving, wonderful families I've ever met, and I'm so lucky that I get to be in their space. If you're still here, don't forget to like the video. That really helps me out, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It means a lot to me, and it helps me know that I'm not just doing this for me, that it's helping people other than myself. Although doing it for me is good enough. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time, this is Liz Lux, live and direct from inside the struggle.